there is a barge that is obviously parked off of the coast of Portland, which is just off of Weymouth. It's like on a spit. And the councillors of Portland, we met with them and we met with the mayor. And all of the evidence I am now looking at stacks up that they were about to announce this Legionnaires thing. And I just did not see it at all, which I'm really annoyed about. Things like, so there's no life jackets on there. And they specifically weren't put on there. They're not provided. There's cold showers or there's no running water at all. Big clue, there might be something wrong with the water in that specifically. And that there had to be like regular wash cycles and laundry and things like that, but in a more strict way than you would expect. All of this is saying there was something wrong with the water. And I was like, oh, terrible that.
That is a nightmare.
No analysis from me. So yeah, if you want to shout a story at me and me not understand it, that's you.
And what was the how do people in the town feel about it?
Well, mixed actually. A lot of people did not know it was going on, and then when we told them it was going on, they were absolutely horrified, and they had some kind of story about how a potential asylum seeker would potentially sexually assault someone in the town. And it was like, yeah, but you didn't actually know about this 5 minutes ago. So has that happened? Or is that a, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
The barge itself is horrible. It's very prison-like. It was difficult at the beginning because it was the most beautiful day in Weymouth. It was like 26 degrees. The sun was shining. There were kids paddleboarding. And we were like, God, this boat looks really nice.
That's what Ava texted me saying. We've got an issue. It looks amazing.
I quite want to be on it.
You said it looked like pontons, I think.
I did say it looked like pontons, yeah. But it's not. And what's interesting is the capacity. That bit was really underplayed.
Okay,
it really is meant to be 200 people on there. And they wanted to pack it out with 500. And they had like one laundry room for 500 people, one like exercise room for 500 people. It would have been awful in there, you know?
Didn't they get it going again? Must have cleaned out the bacteria.
Well, I don't know, because the whole reason that they wanted to put this barge there was because Rishi Sunak believed or Suella believed that would be a deterrent, or it would make them look strong in the eyes of the public. And then the polling came back at the end of the week to say that none of the public believed Sunak had a handle on immigration and that Starmer would be better at it.
It's a really interesting political strategy, isn't it? To like increase the salience of an issue, but then do nothing about it.
But that's all the Conservatives' weeks they've done in... Oh, do they do this all the time? The weeks? Just
Probably, yeah.
It's something week. It's just very odd. Being like...
Do you not remember Crime Week? When
yeah. That was great.
But no, it's just the inside baseball side of it. It's because like they have the grid, right? And it'll be like this, that's what our comms is on. And then they tell the stenographers and the client journalists that this is what we're going to be doing. So then they tweet, so then you fucking get your boys out tweeting that it's going to be Crime Week, etc.
Yeah.
Whereas in actual fact, to like regular voter does not give a shit what the Downing Street comm strategy is this week.
But it's also all the things they're highlighting. They're actually just highlighting their own failures.
Yeah.
Because they're like, someone needs to sort out this problem we've been managing for 13 years at this point. And also voters aren't stupid, because I think everyone knows that they've been in power for 13 years.
I don't know. I think that the buy-in from the media that week was quite extraordinary. The lines that were coming out about it. I mean, not one media outlet. I watched a hell of a lot of news last week while I was pretending to do work in this office. No one was highlighting that there aren't any safe or legal routes into the country anymore. And I just find that extraordinary. I mean, some of the people who just died in the Channel over the past week, they're Afghan, from Afghanistan. 6 of them were. I mean, that's a country that we are meant to be offering safe passage from, and we actually don't offer it.
It's not only like fewer than 100 people from Afghanistan have been resettled under that scheme.
Yeah. Well, it's the Arup and Aaron schemes, and they're both they have a capacity of 5,000 a year. And they filled up pretty much immediately.
I think we've got 21,000 in. Was the latest figures.
But they're not in.
No.
They're going to be dripped over the next couple of years.
It's like places, and then even then they're in hotels, right? They're not like in housing, and they're also now kicking them out of the hotels. So there's like a pretty significant homeless population growing.
It's quite fascinating that you can sort of put someone from a war-torn country into a hotel, not allow them to work, and then at the end of the year go, wow, you've achieved nothing.
Kick you out.
Yeah.
It's fucked, man.
It's also as well, I think, the lack of recognition of, or all the ideas that are deterrents, like the Rwanda thing is a deterrent, and there's just a complete lack of awareness that, or maybe it's more disingenuous than that. Maybe it's like they're fully aware that the push factors are much more attractive or are much more powerful than, so like threats of climate change and war are forcing the mass displacement of people. And the idea that they think, oh, you might be put on a plane to Rwanda, but no one has actually gone yet. It's supposed to stop someone who's like scared for their life and fleeing and want to provide like a good life for their family. The idea that that's a more powerful factor is
Well, there's
wrong.
also the melting pot of the argument, right? So like everything is sort of confused and conflated so that the ordinary voter just thinks that this sort of like one homogenous group is immigration and that's all the same. And so like for some reason, the people who want to come over here and work in the NHS or come to work as fruit pickers or labourers are also the same as Afghans trying to come over because they're fleeing a war-torn country. So everyone has been lumped into this massive problem pile that we should all be frightened about.
I think it speaks to a really like a broader truth about the latest iteration of the Conservative Party, and specifically Rishi Sunak's Conservative Party, which is, it's just so confused and at times contradictory. So, for example, now that we have left the European Union, there is no longer an excuse, right? You can't point your finger at something and say this is the reason we have immigration. Like, it's now totally within your gift to be in control of it. You're complaining about how high it is when it's totally under your control, increasing the salience of it, and then not actually doing any of the things to it. I don't know if you, again, just to be, for anyone who's not aware, I'm incredibly pro-immigration. I think we need more of it to the country. I think it's a good thing that, for example, students want to come and study here, that people do want to come and work here, and in the extreme cases, in the instance of refugees, we should let those people in too. But if you want to take the political position of those people shouldn't come to the country, and then you have migration where it is, i.e. net quite high, like it's a colossal fuck up. We want to build houses, but actually we kind of don't want to build houses, and we're going to block some. Oh no, but in Cambridge we're going to build more. It's just so jumbled and like nonsensical. There's no concurrent sort of running ideology or philosophy through it. The only thing that he's trying to do really is to have some sort of instance of a personal political legacy before he is inevitably destroyed at the next general election by the man we all want to have a pint with, Keir Starmer.
A lot of that is to do with the Johnson administration, though, isn't it? Because the departments, like the Home Office, Justice, all of the departments have been complaining that they haven't had a Secretary of State in place long enough to actually do anything or to actually follow any action through. Think about how many, Home Office, well, actually, that's not the best one. Think about how many Secretary of States for, culture we've had in the past couple of years. The turnover is so high, you actually can't get any real meaningful work done.